Hello, everyone. We all had a good day. My day was good. I was playing around yesterday and had to reset all my equipment, so I had to stream something to make that happen. Uh, and It was a challenge. It was fun though. Get that out of the way. It was fun. Um, I like doing things public. You could do all that stuff private, but um, why not embrace real life? You know, life um, is challenging at times. That's okay. And we have a lot of uh, obstacles that we have to navigate, and how we do that um, determines our quality of life, right? You're always going to have people with different agendas that want to uh, further themselves um, at your expense, really. And that's going to happen. It's just part of life. Um, so anyway, uh, we don't have to apply emotional value to um, obstacles. I'm noticing some potential artifacts, but that might be just that monitor. But either way, I'm just going to run with it. Um, so today, I am going to lay out a story that I wrote and use some various tools to clean it up so that it flows a little better. It's about uh, it's about the American truck driver, the trucking industry, and um, what's actually going on behind the scenes. It's not just in the trucking industry, it's others. We've seen it in the food industry as well, the energy industry, and we need to protect our backbone industries, things that make the country move, make the country work. Um, and we need to do that on a personal level, not just if you're in that business, not just if you're affected directly by those things. We have to come together as Americans um, to keep this company growing and going strong. I know there's a lot of things going on that seem a little uncomfortable, but if you look at the gamesmanship, how things are, how things actually happen, you can't, especially in politics, get everything you want and not give up a few things. If you stick hard to your core structures that will secure our country, and the rest of that stuff is a lot of fluff. There's people that want that, so you have to give it up in order to get these core things. Once these core things are in place, then you can start working on some of that other stuff and clean that up. Without that core structure, you're not getting anywhere, right? Not getting anywhere. So anyway, enough ranting. Uh, let's take a look and see what we got going on. So I set up a camera so you can see what's going on in the studio a little better. There's the studio. Not the best shot, but you know what? It'll work for now. So that's what my phone looks like right now. So yeah, that's the studio. Some more stuff off to the sides, behind it, all over the place. So that's the core. So David and Goliath, the rise of the American truck driver. What prompted this was some personal experience that I got to witness firsthand, and I've seen really bad things happen to communities where global-minded conglomerates come in and buy up good local producing companies. I'm not saying that they're local, but they hired local, they shopped local, they did they had the community that they worked in mind. So if you have, say, $100,000 employee that is hired from your community, and then you times that by like 80, well, that's a lot of money that's being generated and dispersed in whatever means within your community, right? Some of these big global companies come in, they'll buy up, and they don't want people from the other company there, so they'll slowly pick them apart, make their lives really miserable. And I don't see necessarily how that is legal. You should probably look at that. They apply a lot of pressure to push local people out. Well, let's say you have 20, just 20 of that. Well, that's 20 workers that had good paying jobs, that shopped in the community, that did business in the community, that spent their money in the community, and had things kind of set, right? When they get pushed out, that's 20 times $100,000 just not getting worked within your community. Now, there's other numbers too to consider, but just keep it simple. You bring outside people in from farther away communities, say they drive an hour or whatever. Well, they come in and take those jobs, right? Well, those are $100,000 times 20 going to another community. So it's actually hurting the community that was the host of this business, right? Or hosting that business. They give tax breaks, these types of things, so they can build and thrive in their community. Then they go around and they turn around and push all that money out of their community, causing damage, right? So that's what prompted all of this. And I've been collecting data for about 2.5 to 3 years, and working with that variously, the state and so forth. And they're working on stuff too. I want to get the story out that's important to pay attention within your communities. How are these businesses affecting your communities? How are they benefiting? How are they hurting? Right? Pay attention, right? So I wrote a little story, and there's several more lined up behind that. And I did a screenplay, so I'm going to do a movie about it. So it'll be a lot of fun. I love doing that kind of stuff. So what we got here is So, David and Goliath, the rise of the American truck driver, is the story. The screenplay is actually turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Check my cursor in the right spot here. Bear with me. Alright, so this is on my website, Driven Transformations, on the Driven Inspirations page. Alright, we're good. Alright, so David and Goliath, the rise of the American truck driver. Had Grok, that image, so that was kind of cool. Never did that before. So here we go. David and Goliath, a modern trucking tale in the heart of Minnesota. The trucking industry thrived as a patchwork of small family-owned companies, each serving local communities with pride. Among them was a local community transport associates. It's a modest outfit run by David, a principled owner known for his grit and dedication to fair business. Across the state, however, a shadow loomed. Philistine Trucking, a mega corporation led by the towering and ruthless CEO, Goliath. With a fleet of thousands of bottomless resources, the Philistine Trucking Company aimed to crush Minnesota's independent truckers, monopolize the industry, and reshape it for maximum profit. The rise of Philistine Trucking, Goliath's ambition was relentless. From his sleek Chicago headquarters, he orchestrated a campaign to dominate Minnesota's logistics. Philistine slashed rates to unsustainable lows, poached drivers, lavished promises, and lobbied regulations that favored their scale. Small companies buckled under the pressure, selling out or shutting down. Goliath's vision was clear: control the roads, dictate terms, and turn Minnesota's trucking heartland into a cog in his empire. By 2025, dozens of local firms had fallen. Communities suffered as jobs vanished and shipping costs soared under the Philistines' grip. Yet Goliath, his commanding presence, 6'9", clad in tailored suits, and backed by a loyal board, seemed invincible. At industry's conferences, he boasted, "No one can stop us. Minnesota's roads are ours." David stand in the small town of Duluth. David watched the devastation unfold. LCTA, which its 15 trucks, tight-knit crew, was one of the last holdouts. David, a weary man with a quiet intensity, wasn't driven by wealth, but by loyalty to his drivers and neighbors. He'd grown up hauling freight with his father, learning the value of honest work and community trust. When Philistine's acquisition offer landed on his desk, millions to sell LCTA and retire, David tore it up. "This isn't just business," he told his team. "It's our way of life." Rumors spread of Goliath's move, a predatory pricing blitz to bankrupt LCTA and any remaining competitors. Fear gripped the industry, but David refused to cower. The challenge at the Minnesota Trucking Association's annual meeting in Minneapolis, Goliath arrived to gloat. Towering over the crowd, he declared, "Join us or be crushed. No small timer can outlast Philistine." The room fell silent, owners too intimidated to respond. Then David stood, his voice steady. "I challenge you, Goliath. LCTA will compete head-on. We don't need your scale to outwork you. Let's see who serves Minnesota better." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Goliath laughed, a deep mocking roar. "You? With your rusty fleet? Name your terms, little man." David proposed a 30-day showdown. LCTA versus Philistine, competing for a major state contract to haul essential goods. The winner would prove who could deliver faster, cheaper, and with better service. Goliath amused. He agreed, certain his resources would bury David. The battle Goliath unleashed Philistines' might. Hundreds of trucks, AI optimized routes, and aggressive marketing. He flooded Minnesota with billboards proclaiming Philistine the future of freight. His drivers worked grueling shifts, cutting corners to undercut LCTA's bids. Goliath leaned on his connections, pressuring suppliers to freeze out David's company. David, however, fought differently. He rallied his drivers, promised fair wages and respect. LCTA's trucks, though older, were meticulously maintained, and their routes leveraged David's deep knowledge of Minnesota's back roads. He partnered with local businesses. Securing loyalty from his customers who valued community over corporate flash. David's team worked tirelessly, delivering on time with a personal touch Philistine couldn't match. David's secret weapon was his integrity. Instead of brute force, he used precision, optimizing fuel efficiency, crowdsourcing real-time traffic data from local farmers, and even repurposing a single drone for last-mile deliveries in tight spots. "We don't need any army," he told his crew. "We need to be smarter." The sling and stone, as the contract deadline neared, Goliath grew impatient. He ordered a final push, flooding the market with loss leaders deals to starve LCTA's cash flow. But David had anticipated this. He saved one bold move, a deal with a coalition of Minnesota co-ops. Desperate for a reliable local partner, the co-ops, fed up with Philistine's arrogance, signed with LCTA, giving David the volume he needed to stay afloat. On the last day, the state reviewed the results. Philistine's numbers were staggering. Thousands of deliveries, low rates, and glossy reports. But cracks showed up. Late shipments, overworked drivers, customer complaints about impersonal service. The LCTA's record, though smaller, was near flawless. Every delivery on time, rave reviews from clients, and a lean operation that proved small could still be mighty. The fall of Goliath. The state awarded the contract to LCTA. The room erupted in cheers as David, understated as ever, shook hands with his team. Goliath, stunned, stormed out, his invincibility shattered. News of LCTA's victory spread, inspiring other small truckers to resist Philistine's takeover. Communities rallied behind local firms, and regulators began scrutinizing Goliath's predatory tactics. Philistine's stock plummeted as clients defected. Within months, Goliath faced a boardroom revolt and stepped down, his empire fractured. David, meanwhile, stayed humble. LCTA's grew modestly, hiring more locals and mentoring small owners to rebuild Minnesota's trucking. The legacy, David's courage became legend, a reminder that heart and strategy could topple even the mightiest giant. Local community transport associates remained a beacon of resilience, proving that in the face of greed, a single well-aimed stand can change everything. So there you go. That's hard for me to read because it's emotional. I've seen the damage in real time, and it really does affect me emotionally. Still in contact with other people from there, and to hear even more stories of horrendous behavior by these mega carriers. It's hurting not only our communities but our state and our country. We need to get back to operating with integrity and humanity. Stop treating our employees as insignificant, not even human, to be honest with you. That's the reality. So in the screenplay, cover almost everything that's in here, then we insert some of that, the little nuances of how they treat the people. Quite frankly, it's got to stop. Right? So, God bless. Have a great day. Voice is cracking. Emotional. So, have a great day.